think if we short Pfizer, $430,000
in 1 month, Jordy? Huh? $430,000 fucking dollars in 1 fucking month.
Morning, the business expenses. Relax.
Business expenses?
Yes.
Jordy, look what you got here.
What?
Look at this. $26,000 for 1 fucking dinner.
Okay, no. This could be explained. Dad, we had the Pfizer clients.
Right, the porterhouse from Argentina.
The expensive champagne, the wine. We had to buy champagne, and you ordered all the fucking sides. Tell them about the sides.
I ordered the sides, so
Sides?
Yeah.
Sides? $26,000 worth of sides? What are these sides? They cure cancer?
the sides did cure cancer. That's the problem. They were there. That's why they were expensive.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm serious. I know.
Stop.
And EJ Entertainment. What the fuck is EJ Entertainment?
Well, that's
Yeah, George, what's
how
EJ
do I
Entertainment?
describe this?
George, what is that?
It's a fucking prostitution ring, Jordy.
I know.
That's what it is.
That is what it is.
Isn't that the perfect description for it?
That is what it is. But none of these were charged to me. This is all of them.
Oh,
And
that
I had
was
nothing
all
to do-
us.
It wasn't me though. Fucking explain this shit to him.
Well, I
These
thought-
are all your fucking charges right here.
You guys, the IRS, they allow for TNA. It's fine.
T&E. T&E.
Yeah, I said TNA.
No, you said TNA.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
You did?
Yeah,
When did
you
I
did.
say
You
that?
said TNA. It's TNE, all right?
I know you're upset about the dinner, and that makes sense because we did spend too much money, but I said TNA.
Don't tell me what you said. I heard what you said.
Dad, he said TNA.
He did. He said
yeah,
TNA.
absolutely no question.
Yeah,
I heard it.
I'm trying to.
I'm getting this
fucking
close.
sweating. Dad,
I'm getting
relax.
this close.
That's what I'm saying. I want you to open up more, Max.
He's gonna fucking kill you.
Why do you
kind of
hold it in? Why
what
do you, Max? Why do you hold
That's
it in?
it. That's it. Get the fuck
What kind of hooker takes credit cards?
A rich one.
Heart goes out, and my deepest condolences goes out to the Rob Reiner family. This truly is a tragedy, and it's one that no family should ever have to face. And the minute I heard that news, aside from being completely devastated and shocked, I said to one of my friends, I said, you know, the worst part about all of this is going to be seeing Donald Trump's reaction to it. We live in a world where we have a leader who makes everything about him, and then at a moment when he could try to bring people together, will say the absolutely most disgusting thing he can possibly think to say. And he absolutely did this go around. Now, I'm not going to bring the post up on the screen. I'm not going to read it because I don't want to make it about Donald Trump, but there's no way in hell that I can ignore this. If the roles were reversed and this had been something that had befell Donald Trump or his family, Rob Reiner would be on television extending his condolences, and he would be condemning the violence. Donald Trump took the opportunity to make it about him and make one of the most, probably the most disgusting posts that he ever could make. I know that anyone that reads that post from Donald Trump is going to get angry and want to lash out at Donald Trump. That's exactly what he wants us to do in this moment. And what I say we do is we remember the life and the legacy of Rob Reiner, and we show our appreciation to everything he did for us.
You know why we got to break down in law and order in this country, Archie? Because we got poverty, real poverty. And you know why we got that? Because guys like you are unwilling to give the black man, the Mexican American, and all the other minorities their just and rightful hard-earned share of the American dream.
Who said he wasn't smart? That's beautiful, Michael, beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Now, let me tell you something. If your spicks and your spades want their rightful share of the American dream, let them get out there and hustle for it just like I done.
Yeah, but Archie, you're forgetting one thing. You didn't have to hustle with a black skin.
No, I didn't have to hustle with one arm and one leg neither. So what?
So you're admitting that the black man is handicapped.
Oh, no more than me. He's just as good as me.
Wait, now I suppose you're going to tell me that the black man has had the same opportunity in this country as you?
More. He's had more. I didn't have no million people out there marching and protesting to get me my job.
No, his uncle got it for him.
That's not acceptable unless there is serious unrest and people are killing each other. So we have to make sure that the election in 2026 is free and fair, because If it is, we will win. And I think Donald Trump knows that. And so he's trying to position it in such a way that he can make sure that that doesn't happen. But we got to make sure that it does. And so for the next year, what we're doing has to translate into getting people to the polls, making sure they're safely getting to the polls and that their vote counts.
It take a long time to rebuild the shining city on the hill, the beacon to the rest of the world. You go to outside of our country, and I've been out in the UK and other places. They don't know what the hell's happening in America. They don't understand what's happening. This used to be the place that welcomed immigrants, that welcomed people, and it was our strength. The diversity was our strength, and now it's looked upon as you know, people are being thrown out of the country without due process. It's nightmarish what's happening in America, and hopefully people will be able to see that. Unfortunately, voters, they only feel when it hits them personally in the pocketbook, but when they feel that, which they're going to start to feel, and they also feel their rights being taken away, it may start to change things, but hopefully it's not too late. It's as bad as anything could be in this country at this point.
You first heard about the murder of Charlie Kirk. What was your immediate gut reaction to it?
Well, horror, absolute horror. And I unfortunately saw the video of it, and it's beyond belief what happened to him, and that should never happen to anybody. I don't care what your political beliefs are. That's not acceptable. That's not a solution to solving problems. And I felt like what his wife said at the service, that the memorial they had, was exactly right. And totally, I believe, you know, I'm Jewish, but I believe in the teachings of Jesus, and I believe in doing to others, and I believe in forgiveness. And what she said to me was beautiful, and absolutely, you know, she forgave his assassin, and I think that is admirable.
Well, I guess this is it.
You wouldn't be trying to make me feel good, would you?
Arch, I want to thank you.
Well, go ahead.
I want to thank you for all the years you let me live here, and for all the free meals, and for all the nice times we had together. I know there was a lot of arguing and fighting, but we did have some nice times.
Yeah, there was nice times.
You've been like a father to me.
Yeah, you're gonna do that.
Michael, the cab driver's honking.
Okay, honey. You want to take Joey?
Joey. Goodbye. Say goodbye to Grandma. Say goodbye to Grandma.
So long, Joe. So long, Joe.
Goodbye.
So long, Joe.
Grandma loves you.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time, oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time, gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack, Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Alrighty, testing, 1, 2, 3. Are we on? Let's see. Let me see here. Hopefully I'm on. Testing. I'm just waiting for the delay. It's a delay here. Alrighty. So, not sure how much of a good time we'll have today. Good time. Pretty sad news that happened, yesterday afternoon. I think, or not, yesterday evening. I heard about, of course, the horrific news of Rob Reiner and his wife being murdered. This right away, the suspect was his son. Just a tragic, horrible story, And right now, I didn't watch Stephanie Miller this morning. I was sleeping. I was still sleeping, but I've got it playing right now, and I knew that she would be devastated. She knew them very well. And I got it playing right now. Just really bad, sad news. Just horrible news. So my condolences to the Reiner family and to all the people who knew him personally, knew both of them personally. It's it's just it's kind of shocking, I guess, but these things do happen all the time. I mean, murders and by family members murdering each other and shit. It's just sometimes we just I guess it never ceases to amaze me how crazy we can be to each other. And this kid, if these did it, I don't know. I guess he did it, but had a history of problems, drug problems, and addiction problems. But it'll all come out. It'll all come out. Anyhow, yeah. Just going back, looking at the chat. Jolie was first twice. I had a little false start for some reason. The first this morning, just before this, I tried to start the show. It lasted all of, I think, 30 seconds or something. I don't know. So I had to reboot it or redo it. And Jolie was first both times. We got Chris Doug in here. We got Fancy. Hello, Fancy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for being here. Aaron West is here. So we have Aaron. We have Jolie. That means we're at full mod capacity. It's kind of hard to be, well, not that that's funny, but to try to be funny when this is kind of a real somber thing, but is going on. But maybe we need to have some levity, I guess, to not be not to just run ourselves into the ground here, But thanks, Aaron, for being here, and Jolie. Nola Carnes is here. Hello, Nola. Always good to see you. William is here. We got Stephanie B2. Yes, rest in peace, Rob Reiner. Let's see who else is in the chat. In the chat rooms, we got 25 watching, only 17 thumbs up. So if you'd be so kind, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do. I would appreciate it. John Glad's here. Always glad to see John Glad in the old driver's lounge. Thank you so much for being here. William says Carol O'Connor was more of a liberal than Rob Ryder. Yeah, well, I don't know who was more liberal than the other, but yeah, Carol O'Connor, who played this iconic character, Archie Bunker, basically the precursor to the maggot, to the modern day maggot. You know, if Archie Bunker were real and if he and alive today, he would be the biggest maggoty maggot there is, right? But Carol O'Connor, the guy who played him, you know, in real life, was very liberal guy. So, yeah. And the thing about Archie Bunker is that I think a lot of us have had Archie Bunkers in our lives. You know, a father, an uncle, some relatives, or someone you worked with, who are somewhat, in some ways, can be kind of endearing or kind of lovable in a way. You know, like Archie Bunker had some good qualities. You know, he loved his family, he loved his kids and stuff like that, I guess. But he was a fucking racist and a bigot and a misogynist. Don't let his lovability or his character or whatever, where sometimes he could be kind of a softie, you know, or sometimes, you know, don't let that fool you. And Archie Bunker characterized that and illustrated that perfectly. I think I had an uncle that could have been Archie Bunker. So, and to this day, he's long gone, deceased now. But I still think of that uncle and very fondly. I mean, I love the guy. He was a great guy in so many ways. But he was very much like Archie Bunker in his. Well, maybe not as bad. Probably not as quite as. You know, maybe not quite as racist and stuff as Archie Bunker, but he would say some things very similar to like that, very Archie Bunker like. And maybe that's how we handle MAGA. I mean, like, to remember that I bet you everybody in this chat right now probably have an Archie Bunker in your life. And they're probably family. So remember, these are family members. I know a lot of us, we've written them off. We've not spoken to them since 2016, probably. I don't know. Don't shut the door completely, I guess I'm trying to say. Maybe, I don't know. Let's not shut the door completely. Petrazi 1920 is here. Hey, Petrazi, good to see Petrazi. 1920. John Glad says we all believe in the teachings of Christ. Few believe in him and follow those teachings. I don't know if we all believe in the teachings of Christ, but I know. Thomas Jefferson, I think, believed in the teachings of Christ, and I think Thomas Jefferson was agnostic or something. Didn't he make a Bible? He put together a Bible. It was just all the things Jesus said, and he cut all the other crap out, like a New Testament. Luck Dragons here. Luck Dragon says Meathead proved to be smarter than Archie, I guess, in many episodes, as well as Gloria, and we all know Edith was an angel. Yeah. Fancy with a $2 super chat. Yippee! The Fancy, thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Thanks for starting us off and getting the goal going. We have a goal set of 5. It's a normal goal that I usually do. So thanks for getting us started, Fancy. We appreciate you. Michael McAndrews is here. Hey, Michael. Thanks for coming on in. Coming on in to the driver's lounge. DPD 5844 says this has been an extremely hard year. Yeah. I just saw that Anthony Geary died. If any of you old General Hospital fans, Luke and Laura, the old Luke and Laura that they kept bringing back. I was so surprised. I mean, I think they had that storyline just not too long ago propped back up again. I'm like, oh my God, how long are you going to bring this storyline back? Or at least those characters back. But anyhow, Christina and Ghost Squad is here. Sun Ghost Squad is here. What a nice background. That's not a background. This is my new cabin in the mountains with lots of trees. Look at the pretty trees. It's an undisclosed location. I'm not telling anyone where it's at, so no one comes and ruins my little forest. But thanks, Christine, for being here. I appreciate you. Christine and Sun Ghost Squad. Oh gosh, I walked in and something bad happened. We're talking about Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, who were murdered yesterday. Is that what you're referring to? I mean, it's been all over the news since yesterday. So, anyhow, sometimes we miss things. Hey, Mike Mayberry's here. Hello, everyone. Well, hello back at you, Mike Mayberry. I don't know if I've ever seen you in here before, so welcome to the Driver's Lounge, and good to see you. If you might think about liking, subscribing, and sharing, that would be great. Luck Dragon says, bad weekend, Blue Monday, imagine how foreigners feel. I guess that was, is that a Foreigner song? Blue Monday. Bob LeBlanc, how'd the Rams do? Bob LeBlanc, the Rams did very well. They did very well. They beat the Lions. Yeah, in a big, big game. They beat the Lions at home. And I think the real kind of dominant performance was really shown by a 20-point swing that they made. When they were down by 10, they caught up, and then they went up by 10. They had this 20-point swing where they were just kind of exhibiting their dominance there. They looked really good. Now we lost. Devontae Adams went down with a hamstring, apparently. I haven't seen the updates today, but it didn't look too good, and we might be without Devontae for a bit. But hopefully it's not so serious. But hopefully he'll be back for the playoffs at least. I don't know. Fancy says so do the Chargers. Yeah, the Chargers. Hey, look, they're not my favorite team. The Rams are my favorite team, but I was rooting for the Chargers. I root for the Chargers. I like the Chargers. They might be my second favorite team. They may have taken the place of the Dolphins. I've already told you all about the Dolphins and all that shit, and I've told you in the past about how I like the Chargers. So I think the Chargers might be my number 2. Why not? It sure as hell ain't going to be the Raiders, because I have always hated the Raiders. Although, like I said, I do sort of pay attention to them more because I live here in Vegas and they play in Vegas. And I do find myself kind of rooting for them a little bit too. But yeah, I'm glad the Chargers won. Wouldn't that be cool if it was Chargers, Rams in the Super Bowl? And of course, I would root for the Rams, but it would still be cool, I think. This looks like I've always wanted a Dodgers-Angels World Series. But the poor Angels are so pathetic, I don't think it's ever going to happen. And then the one year that they do get in, like was back when Sosha was the manager, back in, was it 2004 or something? The Dodgers weren't in it. So to have those things line up is so, it's so astronomical in a way, I guess. Mike Mayberry says, hi, Jolie, thanks for your comment on my video and reminding me to stop by here. Oh, well, I'm glad Jolie commented and sent you our way. Good to see you. Let's see. Christina Weibel's here. So we've got two Christinas. We got the two Christinas here today. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Luck Dragon says the only good news I can think of in the year of 2025 is that there were no major hurricanes, and I live in California. That is good news, Luck Dragon. And we should try to find something positive, right? Yeah, the hurricane season wasn't too bad this year, I guess. Not like past years we've had, so that's a good thing. That and what else? Maybe that's what we should do in the chat. Let's put in, if you guys can think of some good positive things that have happened this year, let's put it in there. I think we need some boosters. We need a little booster of good things, of positivity. So if you guys have something good, positive things that have happened this year in 2025, let's put them in there. We are getting close to the year end here, and this is when we usually have a reflection on the year of 2025 or whatever year we're in. Maybe we can start posting some of the good things that have happened. I think we need to have that reinforced, that there are good things that do happen, even when there's a lot of shitty things going all around us, all around the whole globe, with Gaza and Ukraine, and of course, in the White House with Trump, and all the shit, all the fucking shit we deal with. I think we need to hear some good stuff. So if you guys got any good stuff to put it in the chat, and I'll mention it if I see it, I guess. But I think we can't just have all just dreary bad news. We got to have something kind of uplifting, I guess, or positive. Mike Mayberry said Married with Children was like All in the Family of the 90s, and I've heard Ed O'Neill is a liberal guy too. I think he is, yeah. And he plays, and then in what's the other show? Where he married the hot wife. He kind of plays a dick. He kind of plays like, not necessarily a hardcore right winger, but he plays definitely like a person who I think would be like a Republican, and he's probably a lifelong Democrat, in real life. That's why it's called acting, folks. It's called acting. Luck Dragon says the whole point of every episode was to make fun of the fact that Archie was a bigot. It is a beautiful montage to the man who played the part. Yeah, but the thing is, I wonder how many people got that. I mean, I bet you the right wingers that watched the show, they liked it because they thought he was like right on. Like my uncle, that reminded me of Archie Bunker. I think he admired Archie Bunker. Christina Weibel, doesn't matter. I love All in the Family. The Jeffersons came from All in the Family. I know that. I was in the audience because the Jeffersons was performed before a live audience, just like All in the Family was. I went to a taping, of the very first episode of the Jeffersons. When I was like, I don't know, was I 12 or something? My mom started doing this thing where because you could just write a postcard or something to CBS Studios, and they would give you free tickets to shows. And my mom did this one time. We did it like a couple times, I guess. And I think we had tickets to go see the Carol Burnett show. So we went and saw the Carol Burnett show, Carol Burnett, down in Hollywood at CBS Studios. I think right there, near Farmers Market, if you guys know where Farmers Market is. I think it was right by there, because I think we went to Farmers Market. We made a trip out of it. Because we're coming down from, at the time, let's see, did we live, I think we lived out in the desert. Yeah, we lived in the desert in Victorville, and we saw the Carol Burnett show. And the Carol Burnett show that we saw was the one where I think Vincent Price was on it, was the guest, I think. And then after that show, then they were passing out tickets to anyone who wanted to go see this brand new show, brand new pilot episode being taped called The Jeffersons. And they I think they said it's I don't know if they used the word spinoff or whatever, but they said it's, you know, from All in the Family, you know, like, and we were like, oh yeah, let's check that out. So we got the tickets and we went and saw the very first taping of The Jeffersons, and we liked it. We thought that was a great show. It was hilarious and funny. And The Jeffersons was a very popular show too for quite a few years. So, but I saw I was there in person for the very first taping of The Jeffersons. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Talk about uplifting. Wow, it's fancy. My stepfather was one, the jerk. He was he was like an Archie Bunker type person. Little Carnes, I'm so sad. I know it's very sad, very, 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 very sad. You know, and I've got Stephanie Miller on here, and she's just bawling her head off. I don't blame her one bit. You know, especially, I mean, you imagine if it's like it's one thing for us. We've seen Rob Reiner over the years with All in the Family, and all of his movie, you know, his acting, his jobs, his performances, and all the great movies he's directed. I mean, the movies he directed were all pretty outstanding movies. And so it's one thing to know him from that part, but like Stephanie Miller, she knew him personally, and they did a lot of stuff together, and it's really got to be pretty devastating. Look, Dragon, I have an uncle that totally reminds me of Meathead, and he died by getting hit by a train. No cap. I don't know what no cap means. He wasn't wearing a cap. I guess. He died without his cap. I shouldn't make fun of your uncle. I'm sorry, or the situation. Michael Meanders, we used to call them rednecks, and we still do. Christina's Son Ghost Squad says, I think my grandmother is very prejudiced, but she speaks Greek most of the time, so I can only tell when she says the word black in Greek. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, William says Peter Green, the actor Peter Green died. Zed's dead. Zed's dead. Yeah, I heard that. I think it was last week. I saw that. And for those of you who don't know, Peter Green, he was in a lot of things. He did a lot of movies, you know, character roles and you know, the heavy, you know, the kind of the bad guy, the heavy. And he was in Pulp Fiction. And if you remember the scene or the segment where Bruce Willis played Butch, the boxer, and they end up Marcellus Wallace is the you know, the black gangster mob leader guy who was going after Butch because Butch was supposed to take a fall for the boxing match, but he didn't do it. And so Marcellus was out to get him. He was gonna, you know, fucking kill him because he cost him a lot of money and didn't do what he's supposed to do. So anyhow, they end up in a chase, and they end up running into this. Well, I guess Marcellus ends up running into this pawn shop looking for him, and then it ends up that the owner of this pawn shop is like this racist fucking rapist I guess I'm giving lots of spoilers away if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction. Anyhow, there's a whole thing, a rape, torture, sodomy scene going on, and the guy who was running the shop, or working at the shop, I guess he called Zed. I think Zed was a cop or something, off duty, and he was a, I think, because I remember the uniform. Either he was a cop or he was a security guard. I forget which now. And anyhow, so he calls Zed over to have some fun. Hey, we got one. He's like, hey, we got one. And anyhow, okay, we're doing spoilers. I'm doing spoilers today. For those of you that have not seen Pulp Fiction yet, heavy spoilers going on. So if you want to turn the volume down or whatever, turn it down. So anyhow, Butch ends up going in there, and I guess he sees what's going on, or whatever. He starts grabbing, and it's kind of funny. He's like, he sees all these things. There's like a I don't know. He sees a bat. He picks up the bat. Then he sees a samurai, like a samurai sword. He picks that up, and so he goes in, and he ends up. Okay, spoiler alert. He ends up, killing the two bad guys, and one of them was Zed. And then, so him and Marcellus, they make up. Or actually, I guess he killed one guy. I guess the first, but I guess Zed was still alive, because then Marcellus was like on the phone. He's like calling his henchman to come over, and then they were gonna like, beat the fuck out of I guess Zed, and kill him slowly and painfully. But on the way out, Butch he grabs these keys to the motorcycle out front, and on the keychain it says Zed, because that was Zed's motorcycle. And then Butch goes back to his apartment, or I guess it was a hotel room, wherever it was, to pick up his girlfriend, because they got a bunch of money, because he bet on the Butch bet on his own boxing match that he knew he was supposed to throw. So he bet on himself. He bet on himself, since he didn't take the fall, and he won. So he won a lot of money, apparently, right? And it was enough money for him and his girlfriend. They were going to go down to, I don't know, Central America or something. So he goes back to the hotel and picks up his girlfriend, and she sees I think she sees the keychain where it says Zed, and she's like, "Who's Zed?" And he goes, "Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead." So anyhow, and scene. No, I wasn't acting, but so that's the whole Zed's dead thing, if anyone was wondering. It's a great movie, Pulp Fiction. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you watch it. And I don't want to hear anything about, it's too violent. Blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. Watch it. Just fucking put on your big boy pants and fucking watch it. It's a great movie. It's probably my favorite movie of all time. Okay, spoilers are over. For those of you that turned the volume down, you can turn it back up. Pump up your volume. This is my sign language to all of you people that turn the volume down. This is a universal language that means turn the volume back up. It probably doesn't mean any of that. Christina says, "Oh my God, they were murdered, and now I saw something that said it was like a suicide." No, it wasn't a suicide. Well, unless that's some breaking news that I haven't heard yet. The last thing I heard, it was they suspected the son of murdering them, but I haven't heard any updates this morning on, I think, or in a while. Michael McAndrew says, "Your stockings might get a little toasty there, John. Might want to move them." Yeah. No, it's fine. It's an optical illusion. The fire is back. It's safe back in the fireplace. And, those are fire retardant stockings. We're compliant. We're safe. Barbara Nicholas is here. Hey, Barbara, good to see you. Barbara says, "Trucker, so how many rides the other night and how much tips?" Oh, okay. That's right, because for those of you, I did a live stream the other night from the cab, and it did end kind of abruptly, because I went into the tunnel at Bellagio, and then it just ended there. I did make my 15. Oh, no, I made my 10. I was trying to get 10 that night because I started late. I did make my 10, but I only made I didn't make that much in tips. I think I only made about $30 or $40 in tips, I think. But I got 10 rides in. I think I was up to maybe 7 or 8 when the video quit. But I got the 10. That was my goal for the night. So I did make the goal, and I think, like I said, I think I only made $35 or $40 in tips. So, but I did make over 200 in my total fares, which was pretty good for having 10 trips. I broke 200. I think it was like $219 in total fares, which I get 39% of. So for you math people, what's 39% of 200 and let's round up to 220. We could just make 40% of 220. That's even easier, maybe. Plus my $30 in tips. But speaking of that, I've kind of, I think I've got the formula down that I want to do as far as the job is concerned, and I think maybe I can get back to being doing my regular schedule here, live streaming, because I was kind of stressing out about work and how to get to work and how much to work and how to get there, and but I think I can still do these shows and still get to work as long as my weekly goal. I'm putting it on a weekly goal because I found out if I do like 15 trips a night, I could make enough money, during the week and during the month I should be able to live off of. So that comes to 45 trips a week. So as long as I get 45 trips a week, then it doesn't really matter what days I work or whatever. It's just as long as I get 45 trips in. That's all. I'm happy. That's all. That's my goal. 45 trips per week. So, and I think I've sort of just over these last few days, I've sort of figured that out. And I might not go. And I think what I'm gonna try to do. I think I'm just gonna try to do like. I was gonna go out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I think I'm gonna go out. I think I'm gonna do Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and then Saturdays if I need. If for some reason I didn't get to 45, then Saturday will be my catch-up day. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I've been trying to figure out like how to schedule myself and how to do this. So I'll probably go out again tomorrow. Probably, like I said, I think I'm going to do Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and then Saturdays if needed. That's my taxi driving schedule. And I think for the live stream schedule, as far as the sit down talk one that we do now, the live stream, Trucker John live stream, I think I can go back to doing this Monday through Saturday if I want, and then if we want to do the in-cab live streams, I don't know if I'll do those every night, but you guys seem to like them. If you guys really like doing the cab live stream, I'll keep doing them. Because quite frankly, I get more views on those than I do on these. So, but so if you guys want me to do the cab, let me know. I don't know if I'll do it every single night that I go out, but at least once a week or maybe twice a week, I can do a live from the cab. Mike Mayberry says, "You've seen me before, TJ. I haven't been here in a while, but I've been subbed for at least a year." All right, Mike. Well, thanks for being a sub. I do appreciate you for subbing, and I'm glad you're back. Glad to see you back. Don't be a stranger. Fancy says, "Did you ever see Rivers play again? Mahomes tore his ACL." I saw some of the highlights of Rivers, Philip Rivers. I mean, he had a pretty good game. I mean, I didn't see the final stats, but he kept the Colts in that game, and I was rooting for him because I didn't want Seattle to win. I wanted, they're keeping right up with the Rams with their record. The Rams have the better seeding because they beat Seattle head to head. But they're playing Seattle this Thursday, the Rams. So another big game. Shoot, you know what? I'm probably not going to drive on Thursday. Now that I think about it, because the Rams are playing on Thursday. So maybe what I'll do is I'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday this week. Anyhow, but yeah, I saw. Here's for those of you that don't know, Phillip Rivers was a long time quarterback, NFL quarterback. Played like 20 years. Most of it with the Chargers. I think the last team he played with was the Colts, Indianapolis Colts, and he's been retired for like 5 years. The guy's, I guess, 44 years old. The Colts starting quarterback went down last week with an injury. Phillip Rivers comes out of retirement, 5 years retirement at the age of 44 years old. And from what I saw, I didn't really see the all the highlights or whatever. I mean, I didn't watch the game. I watched a little bit of some of the highlights, but he looked pretty damn good. And he threw a late game interception that sealed it for the Colts. So here's the Colts game here. I'm putting it on. But anyhow, yeah. So he looked pretty. I mean, it was just amazing. It started making me think. Well, I wonder what Tom Brady's thinking. I wonder if Tom Brady was thinking he should come out of retirement. Hey, the fucking Raiders could use him, and Brady has some part ownership in the Raiders. I think Brady should grow a pair of balls and put on a Raider uniform and go see what he can do for the fucking Raiders, because the Raiders, their quarterback they have totally fucking sucks. It couldn't be any worse. Anyhow, but that was fancy. Yeah, and Mahomes and Mahomes is gone. He's out. He tore his ACL. The Chiefs have had a really bad season. Anyhow, he's going to be out for the rest of the season, and he might be out for the next season. ACLs take a long time to heal. So I think we can say that the Chiefs dynasty has come to an end. Barbara Nicholas, don't forget my Bills. And I think they had a huge comeback against the Patriots, right? Wasn't that the Patriots were up like 21-0? And I'm pretty sure the Bills came back to win that one. I was watching a lot of it on Red Zone. And then when the Rams game came out, I just watched the Rams. Mike Mayberry go Packers. I think the Pack beat the Bears, didn't they? Oh, no, the Bears. I think the Packers lost, right? I think the Bears beat the Packers, if I got that right. Luck Dragon says, I've been rooting for the Bills for the past 20 years since Norwood. I swear to God, they deserve it more than any other franchise in sports history. I think that whoever wins it deserves it. If you lose the Super Bowl because your kicker missed a kick, then I think you deserve to lose. Christina Weibel says, I saw and listened to those videos. Rob Reiner said, we will lose our democracy in a year if we don't do something about it. Oh, was I mid-thread on something? Because anyhow, I don't know. MJ Daniel, no, because Seattle is going to win the division on Thursday, and they will go to the Super Bowl. Woohoo! We'll see, MJ. We'll see how it plays out. But thanks for being here, MJ, from up there in Washington State, a big Seattle Seahawk fan. Yeah, it's coming down to this Thursday. This is basically like a playoff game this Thursday, even though we're still weeks away from the playoffs. This Thursday night, if you like playoff football, watch the Thursday night football game. Rams, Seattle, LA, Seattle, up in Seattle, the 12, up there, man. It's gonna be a fucking bloodbath up there. So if you like good, hard, fucking nose football with playoff, what do you call it? Then I suggest you watch that game. I've got the Seahawks Colts game. They play like a condensed version of it. It's still 0-0. And there's Rivers. I just want to see. He looks a little shaky there. He looked a little. I saw him just make a throw. He looked like an old 44-year-old man making a throw there, but still. He's slinging it, sidearmed it right there. Number 26 made a nice catch, first down. They're on a drive here. They got a drive going. This is still the first quarter. Hands it off up the middle, and a short gain. So let's see. I just want to see a couple passes from Philip Rivers real quick here. So he kind of drops back, kind of shuffles his feet. There's a nice throw. He still makes nice throws. I mean, they're nothing. Kind of a lot of short little dump offs, but he's getting it to him. You know, the running back was doing good. A lot of handoffs for Philip Rivers, but what do you expect? He's 44 years old and hasn't played for 5 years. Kind of amazing. That's just that in fact itself is amazing. He missed that throw. So he's throwing like these 10, 15-yard passes. Here they're going. So he got him down to field goal try, and it's good. So the Colts scored first in the first 3:40 of the first quarter, and they go out 3-0. So, anyhow, I just wanted to look at a couple of his throws. I hadn't really seen him. I mean, he's 44. He's 44 years old and hasn't played in 5 years. I think he looks great for that. Kind of amazing, actually. Mike Mayberry, I wish for a Cubs-Yankees World Series. Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Good to see you, Robert Perez. Thanks for coming on in. Robert says, good afternoon, Trucker John. May you and everyone have a somewhat of a nice day. Well, okay. It's better than having a lousy day, I guess. Look, Dragon, I was a big Jim Kelly fan. MJ Daniel, I think winter will make up for the lack of hurricanes. Some people are having some pretty rough winters out there. You guys out in the east and northeast right now, I guess. Christina, Sun Go Squad. Wow, John's bringing out the hard questions. What was positive this year? Well, yeah, that's why that's why I put it on you guys, because I can't think of any right now. Michael Gandros, I called my dad. He is 95. He's doing okay. That's awesome. Wow, it's fancy. Trucker John got a new apartment. There you go. That was a good positive thing. I'm not on the streets. I'm not living out in the ditch. Remember the ditch over there? So yeah, there we go. Thanks, Fancy. That's a good one. Christina Weibel says, a good thing that happened. How about we are all still here? Rubber Res with a fireplace? Yeah, look at there. My new apartment's got a fireplace and a forest in the backyard. Barbara Nicholas, one good thing, I woke up this morning. Man, the bar's been set pretty low, I guess, huh? I mean, it's good that you woke up, but... MJ Daniel says Big Bear Eagles are back getting their nest ready for more eggs. Yeah, the Big Bear Cam. I don't watch the Eagles one too much. There's another one I watch where it just kind of shows a few places around the village and stuff. Sometimes I watch the Eagle one, though. Christina Sun Go Squad. Okay, says, okay, the positive thing for the year, I still have coffee. Man, our bar is set so low. Like we're celebrating coffee and waking up in the morning. But Drazi 1920 says 2 years ago my son had a kidney and liver transplant, and so far organs are working fine. Yippee! Congratulations to your son. That is awesome. And the marvels of modern medicine, right? Something to be thankful for. I'm glad your son is doing well, Drazi. John Glad says, I have a home, food, health, transportation, family, basically everything. That's great to take stock in what you have and be grateful for all these great things that we have. I think that's great. Well, it's fancy says that's a good one, Christina. I was worried about that. I guess about having the coffee. I don't know. MJ Daniel, yes, same as Blazing Saddles. It mocked people like that, and no, they did not get it. Yeah, I think a lot of them missed it, missed the message or whatever. Um, Look, Dragon says John got a new apartment, but then he had to have a fumigated. It really is a win-lose situation. Well, no, I mean, well, maybe lose for the bugs. It's not lose because I mean, I've since I put the combat traps out, I was just thinking to myself how I haven't seen any bugs for like a week or something, and then lo and behold, right up here on the wall behind the TV, I saw this big ass bug. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a roach. But it was like if it was a roach, it was like the big old fat one. It might have been a queen roach escaping or something. I don't know, but it was crawling up the wall. I mean, it was like this big old fat one. I just got a paper towel and I just smashed it and threw it in the trash can. But I should have taken a picture of it to identify it. So I'm like, there's still bugs. I don't see them. I don't, but there was a bug on the wall yesterday when I was watching the Rams game. I think it was crawling up the wall. I was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" But you know what? I bet you guys got bugs too. Don't even know it. If you don't, I mean, maybe you do know it, but if you think you don't, you probably do. Everyone has. I think everyone has got some kind of bugs or something. Petrozzi 1920 says when I was a kid, we went to Universal Studios and saw the Three Companies set. It was fun. Like Mary Berry says, perhaps it's necessary for an actor who plays a bigot to be a liberal in real life. Probably, maybe, yeah, but could be. He said, I guess that would make sense. I don't think you'd want an actual Republican playing an Archie Bunker or Al Bundy type part. That could be. That could be. Look, Dragon says it's the whole point of Different Strokes, too, so we can fall in love with people who are not like us. That's what makes it funny. That's what makes normal people normal. Just looking at the Colts Seahawks game. So now the Colts are up 6-3. So I guess so far it's the first half. It's just been like a field goal game. Hey, if the Colts at home against a team led by a 44-year-old guy who's been out of the league for 5 years, or at this point trailing 6-3, all they could get was a field goal so far. I might be liking my chances this Thursday. I don't know. Even without Devontae. Flag on the play. Roxanne 79. All I heard was pipe and smoke, so I'll be following with her. Alrighty. Mike Mayberry, you saw Vincent Price live in person. That's incredible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the Vincent Price episode. If you ever want to go look back, if you can find some old Carol Burnett show episodes from about, I think I'm thinking it was 72, or I guess Google whatever year, the first year that the Jeffersons debuted, whatever year that was. That was when we saw the Carol Burnett show, and you might hear me laughing. I might have, maybe you could hear me laughing. I don't know on the either one of those shows, the Jeffersons or the Carol Burnett show. Yeah, MJ Daniel, really bad year for Stephanie and her friends. Jill Sobel, who died tragically in a fucking fire. I mean, my God. Who does that? Who dies that way? I mean, not. I'm just saying it's so like you just wouldn't think of that, like that happening, but it happens. It happens all the time. It happens every day, probably across the country, across the world. So she died horribly, tragically. Jim Ward, only 66 years old. He's only 2 years older than me. He's been in memory care for 8 years. So he started with his, I guess, Alzheimer's or his dementia problems at what, 58 or so years old? I mean, wow, that's just too young for all of that to get that and then to die. So that was pretty horrible. And now this with Rob Reiner and his wife, totally tragic and horrible. Yeah, not too fun, not too good. Look, Dragon says, I just realized that I was lagging behind on the stream. I need to catch up. Please, Trucker, don't talk about me. All right, I won't. I'll read your text, but I won't talk about you. Petrozzi, Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Yep. MJ Daniel, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Why? I think I will. Well, I think I will, good sir. Not Tom Green, the goofy actor. Look, Dragon. Keep up. Keep up. Danny Pomeroy's here. Hey, Danny Pomeroy, good to see you. Says, hi, everyone. Hi, John. I'm busy getting my ice fishing equipment together. I'll listen. Oh, we're going to do some ice fishing. Kristen White will Stand by Me. Yeah, Rob Reiner directed Stand By Me. Very good movie. Roxanne79 says, Jack White from White Stripes just tore it. Just tore Dinky, I don't know what the I is in there for, about his narcissistic post about Rob Reiner. MJ Daniel says, too violent? With some of the books I read, I am not worried about too violent. Well, that's good. But some people, that's just been the criticism. All the people that I've ever heard that say they don't like Tarantino movies, the first thing they go to is, they're too violent. They're too bloody. They're too gory. That doesn't apply to you, MJ Daniel. But I'm just saying that the critics, that's what they say. The critic, not professional critics, but you're just your average person. The critique or the criticism is that it's too bloody and too gory and too violent. Okay, now I'm seeing. Look, the Colts were up 13-3 at the half, and unfortunately, they couldn't maintain it. I guess with 2 seconds to go, they cooked the field goal, so they made it. They didn't cook it. They kicked a field goal to make it 13-6, I guess, at the half. It was 13-6 at the half. And boy, wouldn't that have been nice if the Colts could have maintained that lead, not giving up the lead. Anyhow, it is what it is. It is what it is. Christian Weibel says they arrested Reiner's son for the murder of his parents. Was not a suicide. Yeah. MJ Daniel says, just don't put chocolate in those stockings. We found out the hard way one Christmas. Oh boy, really? Oh yeah, yeah. If you got a fire going in the fireplace and you got the Christmas stockings up, yeah, something to think about. Comedy Mothership is here. Comedy Mothership says Cab Stream is pleasant to find in the evening. Well, thank you, Comedy Mothership. I guess you were watching, so thanks for watching. And and I'll probably do more. Luck Dragon says, I told all my friends at TDR to donate to Trucker John's live stream. Dragons Unite, Rams suck. Well, you're half right. Truckers Unite or Dragons Unite, but Rams suck. No, you don't have to like them, but they don't suck. They're the number 1 seed, son. So they don't suck. Roxanne, I like Cab Lives. Christina Weibel says, yes, cabs. So I'm getting some yeses on the cabs. Okay. Barbara Nicholas says, Trucker, try to get a lot before Xmas. People are in a giving mood. I'll probably be working on Christmas. I'm probably not going to make it to my family's this year. I don't have a car. I'm really low on money. I don't want, you know how they say Christmas is like the most stressful time of the year for a lot of people, and it's usually because of finances, the pressure of buying presents, the pressure of doing all the Christmassy stuff. I'm going to put it on I'm going to tell my family, because the whole family, and I think this is indicative across the country, we're all stressed out financially right now. My son, my daughter, my ex, we're all going through, some financially stressful times. So I'm telling them, hey, I'm just going to stay home, and I need to work. I need to work. I need to make sure I pay my bills. I'm behind in my bills. I need to make sure I don't want to get out and put on the street again. So we're probably not, really doing much. I'm not going to, be able to even make a trip down to California for Christmas. We'll have to make up for it later in the year and do things later in the year. So I'm probably just going to be here, driving the cab on Christmas Day. That'll be my Christmas. And if I get $100 in tips on Christmas Day, that'll be my Christmas present. That'll be the best Christmas present. If I could make, $200 in fares and get, $100 in tips, and hey, Merry Christmas. Luck Dragon says, I often see Trucker on live stream at night, but unfortunately I don't text and drive. Absolutely, do not text and drive. 100%. Don't do that. William says, Rivers never made it to a Super Bowl. Fancy says he looked great. Yeah, I'm watching right now. It's 13-9. They got another field goal for Seahawks. The Seahawks kept creeping in there, and the Colts couldn't score after that 13 points they scored in the first half. So I think Seattle shuts them out. I think they must score a touchdown. Seattle probably goes and scores a touchdown, because I think this final was 16-13. So yeah, if they score a touchdown, that'll give them the 16. That'll be what the final score is going to be. And I think that the Colts were kind of driving, and I think Rivers ended up throwing a pick to end the game. But yeah, still, for being a 44-year-old dude that hasn't played in 5 years in the league, I don't know what he's been doing. I'm sure there's probably some, they probably put some stories about what he's been doing the last 5 years. I haven't seen any of them. So I'm just wondering. I know he's got like 15 million kids. I'm just wondering, has he just been playing catch with his kids for 5 years? To keep his arm in shape, or what? I mean, that would be one way of doing it. So yeah, I see the Colts. They're trying to get a drive, but I guess everything just either they end up stalling. There's a first down. The Colts here in the third quarter. A lot of handoffs to the running back, which is what you would do with a guy who just had no training camp, just comes in cold like this after 5 years. But he knew the system. Apparently, the playbook hasn't changed too much since then, or he knows their basic system. There's a little dump off pass, good for just about a few yards. Brought up fourth down. They had a punt. Here's the third quarter here. So anyhow, yeah, I get caught up in that. Michael McAndrew says, my father-in-law gave me some chocolates, and I brought them to work one time at Xmas. Holy shit, did we all get drunk from them? We didn't know they were that powerful rum. Oh, those rum kind of things. Yeah. It's like, give me another chocolate. Give me one of them chocolates. Those are good. Mike Mabry says, interesting, sports broadcast rights are the only thing keeping cable and regular TV alive. Robert Perez says, hey, Johnny, after watching Mahomes fold up like a chair, that's what I'm thinking KC Chiefs are done for a while. Yeah, they're going to have to be totally on a rebuilding. I think Travis Kelce is going to retire. He hasn't looked very good this year anyhow, and he'll probably retire now for sure because he's without Mahomes. Mahomes is going to be out for probably over a year and a half with these ACLs. Maybe, I don't know, who knows, and they need to start, but they can still, just start gearing up for whenever Mahomes comes back. Start drafting and getting players, building up the line, building up their defense, all that kind of stuff. Finding a replacement for Travis Kelce. If it's not that you're going to just find a replacement, a Hall of Fame caliber, but you need to get some receivers in there and stuff. Roxanne 79, you can tell TJ did sports commentary. I seen the play in my head. I actually never did sports commentary. I did sports writing. I did some sports writing for newspapers. Well, Carnes, that is great. Those surgeries are major. Yeah, ACL, if they're talking about that, that's a major deal. Christina says, I have ants. They love my house. Get some of those combat traps. They have those for ants, too. Fancy hates spiders. MJ Daniel, they still won. Yeah, they just barely beat. Your Seahawks just barely beat a 44-year-old quarterback who has been out of the league for 5 years. So now it's 13-12. Oh, so they got another field goal. I thought the final was 16-13, but I must be wrong, right? Because they didn't score 4 points after this. Was it 15-13? Did the Seahawks just only score field goals the whole fucking game? Great offense there, Sam Darnold. Oh, bad snap. Oh, and poor Phillip. Be careful with that old man. It was a bad snap, and he got basically sacked. But yeah, he got down though. He knew. It was like protected himself. Yeah. So where are we at here in this game? Fourth quarter, Colts up 13-12. He just completed another pass. I mean, look, for being, like I say, this old guy who hasn't played for 5 years, he's not throwing any, 60-yard bombs. It's all dink and dunk, but he's getting it to him. And it's basically that fucking running back is his main. I think it was his biggest receiver from what I could tell. But let's see. So here we are. Oh, they had the punt. So yeah, 13-12, 8-12 to go in the fourth quarter. The Colts just got the ball back at the 5 on a punt. Seattle had the punt. Anyhow, bug spray can be useful, says Michael Andrews. Barbara Nicholas says Taco just doubled down on his social media post and his speech from Oval Office about Rob. He just can't help himself just to be a dick and then just continue to be a dick. It's one thing, okay, you're a dick. Can you stop being a dick now? Oh, you can't stop being a dick, can you? Jolie says, no bugs, but we get mice every winter, which I think are probably even worse. But yeah. My cat catches one about once a week, then she drops it in front of me and I trap it with a Tupperware bowl, then walk down the street to release it in the woods. So basically, I believe, here's my theory, it's the same fucking mouse, Jolie. They have a really good sense of smell. They know how to, they can go back. They go, I remember this place. It's the same mouse you keep trapping every week. You might as well at this point name them and make cute videos of them or something. With the turtle. Wild's Fantasy says, at my old place, my cat dropped one in my lap. I about died. Oh my gosh. Nola Card says, Trucker John, look up kissing bug. See if that is what you saw. Some get huge. They are deadly. You can get flesh-eating disease. Oh, thank you, Nola, for that. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Yeah, I'll have to look that up maybe. Mike Mayberry says, that's adorable, Jolie. You have a very good kitty cat. Hashtag save the bugs. Fancy says, do you have a gap on your door? Not really. I mean, you don't need, but I've suspected that they might get in through the door, but I mean, it looks like it's just a good door, a good seal, but these bugs only need like a fraction of a fraction, So here we go. It's 2:30 to go. So here's the field goal. The Seahawks, so all field goal game. That's all they could. They couldn't even score a touchdown against the Colts. They go up 15-13. So I was thinking it was 16-13. Okay. So 15-13, all field goals for the Chicken Hawks. And it's 2:15 to go. Colts have the ball, it looks like, right? Let's see. They're on their own 35-yard line. 2-minute warning here. 2 minutes to go. Rivers drops back to pass. Gets sort of flushed out of the pocket. Throws the ball away. So now it's 3rd and 7. From their own 35. He throws a little out pattern there to his receiver. He caught that. Did he catch it? Makes the catch. Yes, good catch. That was good for. They crossed midfield. They're first down there. Now they hand the ball off. No gain. Brings up 2nd down and 10 on the Seattle 49-yard line. Throws the ball to the receiver. Short gain, only like a 2-yard gain. At this point, all they need to do is get into field goal range. They need about 10 more yards to get into field goal range. Hands the ball off. Another short gain of about 4 or 5 yards. I think they're still about 4 yards short of where they need to be. That brings up 4th down. They go for the field goal, and it's good. The Colts go up. Wait a minute. This can't be right, right? Am I looking at this right? So the Colts go up 16-15 with 47 seconds to go. My God, what a game, actually. I mean, with 42 seconds, the Colts are thinking they're going to win this. Seattle has the ball on their own 37-yard line. Darnold throws a pass for a pretty big gain across midfield there. They get into Colts territory. First down, the clock's winded down 27 seconds. Darnold with another quick out there, 9-yard gain, 8-yard gain. That puts him on the Colts 38-yard line. Darnold drops back and pass. That's an incomplete pass. That brings up 4th down now. So they go for the field goal. 56-yard attempt, and it's good with 18 seconds. And Seattle takes the lead 18-16. So it's 18-16 with just how many seconds was it? 15 seconds? And yeah, so all they could muster against this Colts team were field goals. 18 seconds to go. Seattle kicks off to the Colts. The run back gets the ball out to the 30. They need something quick here. Rivers draws back to pass. He throws the pick, and that ends the game. He kind of overthrew the receiver. It was a nice looking pass. It just went to the wrong people. I mean, he put a little juice on it there. Yeah, he kind of overthrows him. It goes over his head, and the defenders caught it, and that basically iced the game for Seattle. So Seattle really got, I think, lucky. Seattle with a really lucky win. Not very impressive. All field goals against a 44-year-old quarterback who hasn't played in the league in 5 years. I'm not so scared now. I'm not about this Thursday. I'm not so scared. Not that I was scared, but I'm not. My Seattle is looking a lot more beatable, I think. But we'll see. It's going to be a good game Thursday. It's going to be a big game, important game for these two teams. Look, Dragon, Kansas City's not in the playoffs. No, they had a shitty year this year. They're under 500. Rob Perez. So if the Rams go to the Super Bowl, are you going to have a Trucker John Super Bowl party? Live on Super Bowl Sunday? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Probably not, because I like to enjoy the game instead of worrying about, the camera or whatever. Jolie says it might be the same mouse, John. I should just buy a cage. Buy a cage. You can name him Ralph or something. I don't know. Billy Kid 73 says Rivers did great, even better. My Bears are back in first. Hopefully, Xmas comes early Saturday night with a win against the Packers. Oh, so who did they play? I got confused on who played. This with the Packers and the Bears. Well, here's Green Bay. Oh, Green Bay played Denver. Oh, okay. And I think Denver won. Spoiler alert, I think Denver wins. DPD 5844 says, I have news. I have joined Truth Social, and I may be arrested, but it will be worth it because I spoke by my motherfucking mind. Uh-oh. DPD. You're rattling the cage. Jolie says, they're definitely cute. Michael McAdams has adorable little feet and whiskers. I always sit and look at them for a while before I take them to the woods. I wonder if you could... Now, I'm not recommending this because you never know if they got rabies or something or, But I guess people have probably done it. Can you make one into a pet? I mean, if you did put it in a cage and you fed it regularly and took care of it, I mean, I wonder how that would work. Is that dangerous? Is that something you shouldn't do? I don't want to be giving bad advice or whatever. But, I mean, is that something that's feasible? Not that I'm for it, because I don't like rodents in my house. And I've killed many rodents, just not even with traps, just me killing them because I don't like them in my house or in my garage. They used to be in my garage a lot. And I don't even stand for them being in my garage. And I've killed them by the dozens with a shovel, using a shovel. That's how bad I am. But I'm just saying, they are kind of cute, and I do feel bad, but I'm just like, dude, this is my house. You don't belong here. But I'm wondering if you did make one like a pet, would that be dangerous? Because they could be diseased or something. Did I catch up with the chat already? But I was skipping down a little bit. Am I still on? Are we still on? We didn't go off the air again, did I? We're still on? Boy, it's funny when the sun goes down over this building. It gets so dark, and it feels like it's like 5 in the evening right now, and it's only 1:16. Um. Anyhow, Chris Doug says mice carry. Well, yeah, the Hunta virus. You got to watch out for that. But I think that's more. Is that? Well, I guess I was going to say that's more of a rat thing, but no, you're probably right. It is the mice. So it says it's not a good idea to keep wild ones as pets. Thank you, Chris Doug, with your safety vest. Safety first. But no, you're right. Absolutely right. Michael McAndrew says a wild mouse might go crazy and not eat. So there's that. So it might be just good. You can, like you say, you look at them for a little while, maybe have a little conversation with them, tell them, please don't come back. Tell them they're lucky that they're not at Trucker John's place because Trucker John would have smashed your brains in with a shovel. You know, you kind of put the fear of God into them a little bit. And just tell them, hey, Mr. Mouse, I'm going to take you back to the forest, and please just stay out here. There's plenty of stuff for you to nibble on out here. You don't need to come into my house, please. I know you like it. It's nice and warm and cozy. But you are an outside animal. This is where you belong. Maybe you'll find another nice little mouse out here, and you guys can make a nice little mouse cabin out here in the woods. Please do not come back. I might not be so nice next time. That, even though you will be, but they don't need to know that. The mouse doesn't need to know that. In fact, you might want to hold a shovel while you're saying that. Not that you'll ever use it, because I know you won't, Jolie. You would never do that. But sometimes, you got to just present yourself, in a certain way. Anyhow, John Glad says, when I put my mice from the traps, I make it easier for my 2 feral cats. Laughing out loud. Jolie says, I guess I could take it to the vet and get it shot. Trucker John, I used to take my hamster to the vet. Laughing out loud. Chris Doug, rodents and Tom and Jerry don't mix. Jolie says, I've always wished I had a pet squirrel. I see people online with them. So cute. Talk about rodents. Aren't squirrels just like rodents too? But they are cute. They're cute little rodents. They're cute little buggers, aren't they? And at least squirrels have the decency to usually stay out. I mean, I'm sure there are YouTube videos of a squirrel getting into the house, but they usually have the common sense enough to stay outside. Or at least, they'll come up on your porch or something. Now, if they were as small as mice, they probably would come in, because mice, they only need an opening the size of a dime to get in, or probably even less for some of them. Chris Doug says, latest internet chatter is that raccoons are self-domesticating. They are quite intelligent and docile, but I'm not about to invite a wild one to stay with me. Yeah, I'm not sure how docile the wild ones are. I've seen some of the wild ones. They don't look too docile. Jolie says, yep, squirrels are rodents. Yeah, they're just cute rodents with cute bushy tails and cute little hands. John Glad, rats with tails and heavy fur. Yeah. Little Carnes, I like chipmunks. The chipmunks they are cute. Little chipmunks. Jolie says, I feed our wild raccoons. They're insanely adorable. They but again, it's kind of like that raccoon on that movie. They look all cute and adorable, but they got a lot of deviousness behind those cute eyes and whatever. So just be aware. Beware of the raccoon. I got football playing. All the games from yesterday. Green Bay up 6-0 over Denver. I'm pretty sure Denver comes back and wins this one. It could be a Broncos-Rams Super Bowl this year. Who do you guys? Should we do that? Who do you guys think is going to be in the Super Bowl? Not even who wins it. Who is going to be in the Super Bowl this year? I'm saying it might be Rams Broncos. Who do you guys think? And that's not really my official prediction. I think definitely the Rams are going to be in the Super Bowl. But who do you guys think is going to be in the Super Bowl this year? Even if you don't care, even if you don't watch football, just throw a couple names out there. I don't care. Jolie, they're so chubby. Chubby little. The raccoons are, or the chipmunks. There's Marie G and Greco. I didn't see Marie come in earlier. But, and I do have it on all messages. It's kind of weird. Oh, there's Marie. Okay, there's Marie. Somehow I skipped Marie, I think. Or no. Okay, I guess somehow I skipped Marie. There's Marie. Well, thanks for coming on in. We're just hanging out today. Barbara Nicholas says, when I was little, had pet chipmunk and slept in my Gramps' pocket. Oh my goodness. Billy Kid says Rams Broncos is my guess. Well, look at there. We both said the same thing. Jolie, chubby raccoons, not chipmunks. But yeah, who's good over there on the AFC? It could be Buffalo. What if it's Rams? But okay, on the NFC side, I mean, who knows? It could be the Rams. It could be. I don't think the Seahawks are going to make it. I don't think the Niners are going to make it. Bears, Rams, or the Bears? The Bears. And then for AFC, it's probably maybe between, it could be the Broncos, it could be the Bills. I mean, it could be anybody, right? I mean, anybody who makes the playoffs. But who else is looking really good over there? I mean, Buffalo is just basically Josh Allen. They should just change their name to the Josh Allens, because without him, they wouldn't be anywhere near even making the playoffs, I don't think. Chris Doug says Fess Parker wore a coonskin cap as Davy Crockett way back when. Yeah, he did. Because that's what Davy Crockett used to wear, apparently. Well, Chris Doug, Eagles, well, they beat the Raiders. They killed the Raiders, but the Raiders totally suck. The Eagles are, they've been up and down this year. Had a kind of an up and down season. So you never know. They might get their shit back together in time, make a good playoff run. They're definitely not out of it. Definitely not. Yeah. So yeah, Eagles, Bears, Rams. Top NFC teams, maybe contenders. AFC top contenders are probably Broncos, Bills. Let's get a third one. Who's their third top contender over at the AFC? Chargers. Oh yeah, Chargers. Yeah. So I'm not looking at seedings right now. I don't know what the seedings are. I don't know who the top seeds are, but I would say the top three in no particular order in the AFC. It's got to be the Chargers, the Bills, and the Broncos. And in the NFC, I would say the top three are probably the Rams, Bears, and Eagles, probably. What do you guys think? I know you guys love it. I know Jolie really particularly loves it when I start talking football. The only thing she likes better is when I talk baseball. So. Terrence I was going to say Terrence McBunts. No, it's Terrence M. Bunts. Hey, Terrence, good to see you, by the way. Says, raccoons around here own our trash cans, turn on the porch light, take grandma's broom. they'll give you that. Oh, and what's your point? Look, yeah, it's like, oh, you got a problem? It's more like, you got a problem, motherfucker? Chris Doug says, here's two teams not going to playoffs, Jets and Giants. The Jets, I think, have looked pretty bad all year. The Giants are weird because they had some good games, and they seemed like they had some good kind of comebacks, and then they would lose. Like, they put up points. The Giants are really, really weird. You know what I mean? Like, where I would count them out, and then they would have kind of a good game, and then they would find some way to lose. It was, yeah, I feel more for the Giants fans than the Jets fans. I don't even know. I haven't really been following them. I think they just suck. But the Giants, it looks like they might have something there. They might have a kernel of something to build on. I know they fired their coach earlier in the year, but they've had these weird games where they seem to play really well, and then they find a way to lose or something. It's just a really unfortunate season for the Giants. Maybe there's something there that they can build on and have maybe a good season next year. And the Jets, I don't even know. I mean, who knows? They might just be perpetually bad. Kind of like the Angels in baseball. Jolie says there's a guy on YouTube that makes videos just feeding raccoons on his back deck. That's the kind of thing I wish I would like to do. I would really like to live in the background that I have here. I would really love to live on this cabin and then live in that forest. But hopefully there's a good road somewhere that gets me to a town reasonably, easy. And have a nice porch that I could just sit out and make videos of me feeding raccoons and chipmunks and squirrels. That's kind of my dream. Chris is consistently inconsistent. I think, are we talking about the Giants maybe? Jolie, raccoons are sassy. That's what I love about them. Troll Slayer's here. Hey, Kevin. 007 Kevin Troll Slayer. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. DPD5844 says it's Monday, right at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, what is a football game doing on? Oh, you know what? I think today's a doubleheader. Actually, I think today's a doubleheader. That's why there's an early game. Shoot, I don't have my other remote. So I can go to regular TV. Let me go switch remotes. I think today's a doubleheader. Right? Isn't today a doubleheader? Sometimes they do that. They've been doing that for the last few years now, where they have 2 games on Monday night instead of just 1. Let's see what's on. Like they might have 1 game on ESPN and the other one on ABC or something. Let me see. Oh, yeah, let's see. Well, it just this is just a pregame Monday night. Yeah, I don't know if there's any game. Is there really an actual game on? I don't know. Because they're just showing highlights right now of that Denver game. But anyhow, I'm not sure if it's a doubleheader or not tonight. I don't know. Let's see here. Chris says it's a replay. Okay, so maybe it's not a doubleheader then. Petrozzi 1920 says, "Don't ask me because I don't know." Barbara Nicholas says, "Miami at Pittsburgh tonight." Yeah, so I think it is just the one game, Miami at Pittsburgh, because we still have with our fantasy football league. We have my son still has 2 players. We're in our playoffs, and it's me and my son in this first round. And I was leading after last night. I think I was beating him by about 12 points. But he has 2 players playing tonight, and I don't have any. So he's probably going to beat me. He's got 2 players in the game tonight. So my son's going to beat me in our first round of the playoffs. Probably. I think I'm up by 12 or something, and he has 2 players that are pretty good, and they average. I think they each average like 12 points a game. Fantasy points a game or whatever. Billy hit just one game. Yeah, it's just the one game. Then John Glenn said 2 games tonight. No, I think it's just one. I think it is just the one. Chris Doug says it's cold here. 27 feels like 21. Going to teens overnight. Chris Doug, I always forget where you're at. If you don't mind, what region of the country you're in. Jolie says, well, I didn't win the $1 billion Powerball drawing the other day. Got to get more tickets for tonight. I'm definitely winning this time. I wish I could play. They don't sell lottery here in Vegas. Someday maybe they will, but they don't because I think the casinos didn't want it. But I wish I could play, and I don't even want to win the whole. I mean, I would take the whole thing if I won it, but if I could just be one of the, if there were a bunch of winners and I could just win a few mil, I would be nice. I would be happy. John Glenn, one game, yeah, Miami, Pittsburgh, yeah, that was me starting a rumor. There was 2 games. That was a false rumor from me. Jolie says Troll Slayer, Slayer 007 Kamala. Are you 2 going out now? Oh no, she's married. She's married. Petrozzi, I didn't win Powerball either. Oh, really? I thought one of you guys was going to win it. John Glad, 1.1 bill. If one of you guys wins it, let's say like $1 billion, then you should probably donate like $1 million to the Trucker John live stream. DBD5844 says, I was once trapped outside with my 2 cats with a Rocky raccoon for 3 hours in the cold because Rocky refused to let us pass. That is why I don't trust Rocky raccoons, period. Wow, that must have been a pretty ferocious raccoon that you couldn't get around him or whatever. I don't know. Wow. I mean, that kind of sounds scary, Jolie, I want the $1 billion. Yeah, I want the whole $1 billion. Well, me too, but I mean, I would be happy and satisfied if I just won like $3 million, Chris Duck says northern New Jersey, right across the river from west side of Manhattan. Oh, okay, that's where you're from. Exactly. I'm trying to think, why do you do that? See, I ask a question and then someone answers it, and I'm like, why? What do they say? So yeah, you're up in Jersey. Up there, it's you're up in that area. That's because you're a Jets and Giants fan. And you say it's going to be 27, going to 21, and the teens overnight. Yeah, it's freezing up there. You guys are freezing your tookuses off. You're freezing your tookus off up there. Up there in Jersey. You're going to freeze off your tookus. Keep your tookus warm. Chris is like, we don't talk like that. What, are you crazy? Chris Doug says, don't waste your money. I already have tonight's winning ticket. Thanks for the heads up. So, Chris Doug, do you have a certain set of numbers you play, or do you just do the whatchamacallit, where they choose the number for you? Petrozzi, it got down to 0 here last night. Petrozzi, aren't you New York also? Somewhere around there? Chris Doug snowed Saturday night into Sunday. I saw some videos of the snow in New York. Like I might have been Central Park. I guess it was probably Central Park, and it was all very, wintry looking, winter wonderlandy. 007 Kevin Trollslayer says at Michael McAndrews, she even came back with her jovial wit. Everybody was going, Kamala, Kamala. She laughed and said, "Okay, that's my name. Don't wear it out." So did you see Kamala Harris recently? Is that what the deal is? Oh, Petrozzi is Northern Kentucky. Down there in Kentucky. Got down to 0 down there in Kentucky. Damn. 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 I know. I've been in that weather. I remember when I first moved to Lancaster, California, out in the desert, we had this big Arctic, what do they call it? Arctic blast that came through. And we were having nights where it was getting down to like 3 degrees. And that's when people's pipes were bursting and, because we're desert folk, I mean, we have some cold winters, but not like that, man. And so they were like, run the water a little bit in your faucet and wrap your pipes and all this shit. Of course, when it just sort of happens, it's a little bit late, for a lot of people's pipes were bursting out there in the desert. We're getting down to 3 freaking degrees, man. If we had like a week of that, of this Arctic blast, back in like, I think it was like 89, 90, maybe, winter of probably 89, I think. Look it up if you don't believe me. Google it. Terrence Bunce says, Jolie, yeah, I saw that. Got my bros Westies to watch the TV, and they got hooked. What did you watch? What did I miss that you were watching? I don't know how I missed that. I've been reading everything. Chris Doug says I'm a Mega Millions player. Bought random lottery tickets for tonight. Look, Dragon, I feel lucky. No pun intended. I got the numbers. Wow, look, a lot of people feeling lucky tonight. I hope one of you wins it. I really do. Or all of you. I hope you guys could share it. DBD5844 says, if I won, I would share with you guys. And yes, that raccoon was huge. I don't know if it was pregnant or if it was on steroids. My kitties, Mighty Mo and Tom, are fearless, and neither would go near it. Wow. Yeah. Wow. It must have been a badass raccoon. There's one badass motherfucking raccoon, man. Rocky Raccoon. David Windler's here. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Thanks for coming on into the old driver's lounge. It says, if you do lottery, you don't understand high school math. Well, I think we understand that the odds are against us. It's pretty much astronomical. But we also understand that someone does eventually win. Someone wins. I've never seen where one doesn't eventually win. So, that's what keeps the hope alive. Oh, Terrence about raccoons. That you guys are talking about raccoons on YouTube. Seeing the thing. Chris Douglas Petrozzi, are you near Turfway Park in Florence? I hit a pick 5 earlier this month. $60 wager, paid $2,100. Nice. Guys, it's nice. I don't know. I was trying to sniffle. I don't have anything to sniffle, though. Luck Dragon says, I've picked up 67 drunk raccoons in my life. You're funny, Luck Dragon. 2112. You're a funny one, Mr. Grinch. Chris Doug says, lottery jackpot odds 80 billion to 1. Don't play if you cannot afford to lose. Don't ever tell me the odds. Wasn't that, what's his face? Star Wars? Okay. Jolie says, Terrence Bunce, I play mouse videos for my cat. I play them on my phone. She's always looking behind the phone to see where they're going. Oh, that sounds like a cute kitty. Kitty wants to know, where did Mousy go? DPD5844 says, how do you explain people who have hit the Mega Million and Powerball twice? It's true, Google it. I know. Either people are saying it was rigged or something, or, man, I mean, it's incredibly lucky, right? I mean, how lucky? That's incredibly lucky. So lucky. I can't even tell you how lucky. Because I don't know my grade school math. Troll Slayer, Kevin 07. Kevin 07. I'm going to start calling you Kevin 07 from now on. Troll Slayer 007 says, Truckatron 3, I was talking about it because the Democrat National Committee just had their winter meeting and Kamala Harris was the featured speaker. Oh, awesome. And did you go? Were you there? Because you were saying how she said, don't wear out my name. Joey says, I buy one ticket. I figure if I'm meant to win, that's enough. Yeah. I think that's pretty healthy. Just buy one that, you're not overdoing it. Yeah, and if you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. John Glad says, I doubt those were raccoons. Rocky Raccoon. Luck Dragon 2112 says, oops, I meant to say I've met 67 Roxannes in my life. Uh-oh. Gonna piss off the Roxannes. Chris Doug says, may I reiterate, I've already purchased a nice winning ticket. Are you not listening? Save your money. All right? Chris Doug's already got it. You might as well just save your money. Nola Carnes says, guys making liver and onions. Time to start the mash potatoes. Yum. But do you do the mashed potato as you're mashing the potatoes? Wasn't the mashed potato, wasn't that a dance, like a 60s dance from Chubby Checker or somebody like that? Do the mashed potato? If not, you could make it up. Make up your own mashed potato dance as you're mashing the potatoes. Troll Slayer, Kevin 07 says, was a podcast on DNC channel on YouTube. Oh, okay. I missed that one. So what did Kamala have to say? Did she give any hints that she might run again for president? Or is that she's going to run for anything ever again? Or is she just done? Did she hint at any of that? Or even more than hint? Inquiring minds would like to know. Barbara Nicholas says some people have a horseshoe up their butt. That's how you win, huh? Where's that damn horseshoe? I got around here somewhere. Lube it up. That question of the day: would you stick a horseshoe up your ass if that meant you could win $1.1 billion? Because if you won, then you could certainly afford the surgery, I guess, to have it removed. Jolie says, I'll remind you that you said that when I have the winning ticket tomorrow. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll remind you that. Okay, when Jolie has the winning ticket tomorrow. I get it. I'm just not reading it right. My mind is not reading that right, but I get it. Like I'll remind you that. I'll remind you that you said that. I'll remind you that you said that when I have the winning ticket tomorrow, Chris Doug. There, okay. I think I got that out right. Chris Doug, perpetuating the myth, gives me cause to check my numbers tomorrow. Noel Carn says yes. Was that in yes to the horseshoe up your butt question? John Glad says Nola smells great. and I just ate. I'm not sure if I should say. We'll say Paul. I'll say Pollock. You're a good Pollock. Chris Doug says, "Got to be in it to win it." Marketing propaganda. Fear of missing out. Julie says, "When I win tomorrow, I'll give everyone in the chat $1 million. So if you're lurking, better speak up now." Ooh. Okay. I better put myself in the chat. There. I'm in the chat. Got to get in on that, man. I'm already spending my $1 million. DBD 5844 says, "Did anyone hear about the brewery in North Carolina where the co-owner was charged with breaking into a home and SAing?" We all know what that means, right? A 13-year-old, and people are boycotting, and stores are canceling their order. Well, I'm glad they're at least doing that, and I hope that motherfucker goes to prison for the rest of his fucking miserable life. And I hope that 13-year-old gets all the care and everything that they need. Michael McAndrews, $4 super chat. Thank you so much, Michael. Yippee! Dandelion subsidy. There you go. There's your thumbs up. I'm trying to thumbs up it. There it goes. And a heart. Thank you, Michael McAndrews. Hey, we're 2/5 of the way to the goal. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Little Card says, "John Glad, I am part Welsh and German. I eat it all." Christina's Son Ghost Squad says, "Well, my darlings, I had to cook. I'll still be listening, and I'll see you guys all around the tubes." Well, thank you, Christina and Sun Ghost Squad. You might want to do the mashed potato while you're cooking. I don't know. And I'll probably be signing off here pretty soon. It's almost 2 hours. I think I'm going to walk down to the store, buy a few things, buy a few groceries. Just a couple things. I need some butter. Barbara Nicholas says, "Trucker, speaking of mashed potato, you had some moves going on the other night. And yes to winning." When was I doing moves? I don't know. I don't remember that. Was I drunk? I don't know. Chris Doug says, "Zell me, Jolie." Jolie says, "Thank you for getting that right finally, Trucker John. I admired your dedication." Oh yeah, getting the right read on that. Yes, I stuck with it. I was determined. I wasn't going to stop until I got it right. Troll Slayer Kevin 07 says she just summed up the year and said we still have gotten, talking about Kamala Harris here, and said we still have gotten our share of victories, and in the coming years, let's show the other side we're better than them. Okay. Wayne Gwaine says I was watching on my TV. Hey Wayne, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you. And I apologize for not saying your last name right, because I know I always do that. Billy Kid says I won a few hundred on a few soccer games. Really? Betting on the soccer games, huh? Petrozzi says, "What a scumbag." I don't know. Oh, about what DBD was talking about. Okay. Yeah, total scumbag. I hope no one, buys anything from that guy, and I hope that motherfucker goes to prison for like 1,000,000 years. The Monster Mash. The Monster Mash. But wasn't the mashed potato a dance? I know there's the Monster Mash. They had all these goofy dances in the 60s. I think the mashed potato was a dance. Chris Doug says Anheuser-Busch is closing the Budweiser brewery in Newark. Job loss is staggering for workers and drivers. Wow. You know times are tough if Budweiser's closing down. Behind the weird steering wheel and while driving and listening to music. Oh, I think I was just like head banging. I was head banging. I can head bang with the best of them. Apparently, I don't know. Hey, Karen Ames is here. Good to see you, Karen. Karen Ames says, "Hey guys, I just got out of my doctor's appointment. What's today's subject?" A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. The Rob Reiner tragedy, lottery tickets, football, various rodents and animals, wildlife animals. You know, the typical stuff, the normal stuff that we talk about. Dibbity, did you fix your rib? Oh, that ribeye has been long gone and digested and sent through the system. Yeah, I ate those. I ate those all up. Now, if I would have been smart, I would have like maybe stuck a couple in the freezer. I just had steak for like a week, solid steaks. DBD says it was a dance, TJ. Okay. That was a dance? Me doing like, I don't know, what was I doing? Just like, something like that? I don't know. Oh, no, it was a dance talking about the mashed potato. See, I'll catch, I'm a little slow sometimes. I'm a little slow, but eventually I will get there. So yeah, the mashed potato was a dance, I think in the 60s. May have been popularized by Chubby Checker. I know he did the twist. I did the twist. And but I think the mashed potato was one of them also. Bob LeBlanc, do the mashed potato. And sing it like Monster Mash. Luck Dragon says, I live in California, and the best thing I can think about in 2025 is no major hurricanes. Weird, right? That's a total repeat. You already said that exact same thing about an hour ago. And I read it. I thought there was going to be a different ending. But you got me, Luck Dragon, you got me. Yeah, that's a complete repeat. Anyhow, I thought you were going to say like there was no major earthquakes this time. That's why I started reading it, and I thought maybe he's going to say, "Oh, there was no major earthquakes," which would be something to be grateful about. Because I don't think there were really any major earthquakes, right? There might have been some, little shakers, little tumblers, not timblers. But I don't think there's any major earthquakes in California, so there's that too. Oh, and then Karen Ames says, I live in California too, Luck Dragon, so we can say no major earthquakes. Wayne Goen says, in 1972, I was 14. My grandpa won $1 million on the Michigan lottery, and boy, $1 million in 1972 was a lot more than it is now. Wow. Was grandpa really generous? Or was he like a selfish bastard? Chris Doug says, mashed potato and the funky chicken. Now, the funky chicken, that might have been from the 70s, maybe. Early 70s, I think, maybe. Look, Dragon says, I secretly root for a major earthquake every day. You bastard. Why? You bastard person. People get killed in major earthquakes. Sometimes they get killed in minor earthquakes. Not supposed to wish for that or root for it. David Windler says the mashed potato, the hitchhike, the swim, the twist. Yeah, do the twist. Chubby Checkers, of course, his biggest song was the twist, probably. Do the twist. Look, Dragon says, see you down in Arizona Bay. Look, Dragon, that reminds me, Mark Kelly, 2028. Chris Doug, shake your tail feathers. Jolie says, I haven't done any Christmas shopping yet. I'm doing it all this week and wrapping this weekend. Wish me luck. Going to be a rough week. Make sure you got plenty of tape and get the scissors ready. So you don't like, you're like, what did I do with my scissors? Have everything all ready. Go buy one of those packages of a bunch of rolls of tape. Find your scissors so you can cut the paper, and everything. And no paper cuts, though. Be careful. Be careful of the paper cuts. Hey, Big Hook, the Big Canucks here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Big Hook says, I remember the California season being fires, mudslides, and drought. We've had a lot of those, that's for sure. Especially over the past 30 years. About 40 years, lots of droughts, for sure. Then lots of fires that come and then burn away all the vegetation on the hillsides. Then the rains come and you got mudslides. Definitely, that's a lot of what happens out here. Yeah, Karen Ames, Funky Chicken was early 70s. Karen Ames says, we have earthquakes and just skate, rattle, and roll. Barbara Nicholas says, mashed potato with time, sung by Dee Dee Sharp. Mashed potato time. It's mashed potato time, everybody. Wayne Goen says, Gramps was very generous. A retired Lake Michigan fisherman, very religious. He gave a lot of it away. Wow. But I take back my bad thing that I said. Chris Doug says, do the loop-de-doo, loop-de-loo. Karen Ames says, Big Hook. So far, except for the LA fires, we haven't had a major fire season yet. We've got 67-degree weather still. I know, it's been a warm winter so far. But it was earlier this year, right? When we had the huge fires in LA and Trump was like, I opened the faucet, talking about water in the Central Valley, hundreds of miles away that wasn't connected to anything that was going to get to LA. Josh Sees is here. Always good to see Josh Sees in the old driver's lounge. Thanks for popping on in. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Help the show grow. We're over 4,230 subscribers now. Thank you very much for all that. And trying to get to 4,500. So, like, subscribe, share, hit the hype button, comment, whatever you can do would be greatly appreciated. DPD 5844 says there's a mom and pop store that sits on the border of Indiana and Illinois that has sold the most winning Powerball and mega tickets, but I cannot remember the name of the store to save my life. Jolie, you need to get to that store. You need to find the name of that store and you need to go there, Jolie. I want my $1 million. Barbara Nicholas says, I'm a one-stop shopper. The bank give all grandkids money. Oh, yeah, you do that. Yeah, well, that's a good cake. Everyone loves money. Big Hook says, I lived in LA for 1 year, but over 35 years ago, back in the era of the Thomas Guide. I remember the Thomas Guide well. I had many of them back in the day. Thomas Berry Sports Highlights is here. What did I say? Daniel Berry. Did I say Thomas Berry? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Thanks for being here. He says, happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday back at you. Look, Dragon says, I just give people the best present they could ever think of. Money. Money. Money is cool. Money's good. Everyone loves getting money, but still there's something about, having presents and getting like something you can open and it's a gift. It's something maybe that's special between you and the person who gave it to you. And sometimes there's like sentimental value, or sometimes it's just like, really thoughtful, much more thoughtful than money, but still I'll never, not take money. Karen Ames, my flowers are still blooming. Yeah, it's been up here in Vegas. It's almost been like, until the sun goes down, it's almost like spring out. As soon as the sun goes down, it'll drop pretty quick. Temperature. Big Hook says, hey, Turtle Toes, good to see you. TJ, I hope you enjoyed my Xmas song contributions to your Discord. You know what? I haven't even checked it out, Big Hook. I'm going to have to check that out. I didn't even check it out. I was so busy watching football yesterday, I guess. I will definitely check that out. Love Dragon says they tell me the best thing they purchased in the year before, and I pretend that my money went towards that. And in a way, I guess it did. David Windler says if John could get a fare to LA, chill times. Karen Ames says Powerballs is depressing when you don't win. Of course, I have to have money to play. I think that's why I stopped playing because I for a while there. I mean, going way back, I almost never play. But I think in the '90s I used to play not a lot, but I would buy $5 or $10 worth of lottery tickets. Just probably just a few times during the year, 2 or 3 times during the year. When it was starting to build up, and I would buy, and I always lost. I never won anything. I mean, I think a couple times I think I won a few bucks or whatever. I think one time there was one time. This is way back in like 1991 or something. I think I won $50, and I was like, "Woo, $50!" But just so much went by where you just don't win anything. You don't win. You don't win. You don't win. So I just pretty much stopped playing. It kind of gets kind of like, why bother? But it's always fun to kind of think about it. If you won or something. Santa Dog, is this live? It is live. Hey, Santa Dog, otherwise known as Damon Dog, the big dog. Santa Dog is in the lounge. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. DVD 5044 says, does anyone with pets buy them Christmas gifts and wrap them? Do you also buy gifts for other people's pets, or am I the only one? I've bought little gifts for my dogs when I've had dogs and stuff. I don't think I've ever bought them for other people's pets though. Maybe I don't know. Maybe for my daughter's dog. Maybe I did. I think I may have got something for Charlie. Charlie's her dog. Like a bone or something, a little chew toy. But usually not. I usually don't for other people's. But like when I've had dog, you get them. Maybe not. Maybe I didn't do it every year, but I think I have done it a few times. Over the years. Chris Doug says I won $6,000 in August of '99. Wow, $6,000. That's not bad. Big Hook says, considering that today nobody truly has disposable income, the lottery represents desperation, unfortunately, in this Trump economic Billy Kid 73 says, DPD, I spoiled my pup. She's getting 2 new beds and new toys. Chris Doug says the lottery is a tax on the poor, my uncle used to say. Jolie says, I don't buy gifts for my pets, but Santa brings them gifts in their Christmas stockings. Jolie, you're so funny. DPD says, you can't win unless you play, but I understand what you mean. Yeah, I know you can't win unless you play. I absolutely 100% know that. Yeah, I know the economy. Big Hook. Josh sees my dogs get a stocking. I think we've over the years I've done that a few times here and there, but it's not like a tradition or anything. DPD, I don't think you could spoil fur babies enough. Looking at the Big Bear Lake cam. There's a little tiny, probably a quarter of an inch of snow on the ground. Looks like. Big Bear California Live 24/7 webcam 4K Lake Town Village. This is the Big Bear live stream. 37 watching. Started 2 months ago. I like to watch that every now and then. See what it's looking like up there in Big Bear. Look, Dragon, I hate this timeline. I believe there's only one timeline. You're stuck with it. You know, you don't like it, but you're stuck with the timeline. And even if there is more than one timeline, you ain't getting off of this one. Look, Dragon says I get my cat high. Well, good for you. Some people think that's animal abuse. So, might want to keep that to yourself. All right, guys. I guess I should tap out. I really didn't have any breakfast yet. I'm getting hungry. So I'm probably going to. I think I'm going to walk down to the corner, get something to eat, and then maybe go over to Albertsons, get a couple grocery items, and schlep them back to the house. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think I'm going to go back to our regular schedule of live streaming. And so I'll be back on tomorrow, right here, 9 a.m. I'm not doing no cab tonight. I plan on going out tomorrow on the cab, and I'll probably go live at some point. So just remember, I'm in the Pacific time zone. I'm not sure when I'm going to go on, but it seems to be around 7 my time, which would be 10 o'clock for you guys on the East Coast. So we'll see. We're kind of playing it by ear. So let's just be on the lookout. If you see me, if all of a sudden you see Trucker John live in the cab from Las Vegas, pop on in and say hi. And who knows, you might see something out the window around my big belly. If you can get around my belly, you might see the sphere or the Stratosphere Tower, or you might see the Bellagio fountains or something. Big Hook says, after this weekend of carnage, it feels like we are all experiencing PTSD. Rest in peace, Rob and Michelle Reiner. Prayers to all the families who've lost loved ones in this age of insanity. Yeah, we had the shooting at the Brown University. We had shootings in, was it Australia? The one with the guy who took the shooter down. Yeah, it's just another week in the world here. All this shit going on, and hopefully we can all get through it. Just get through it. Just take it one day at a time. I guess we'll just take it one day at a time. Josh C says I've been looking at used cats. I know that's a typo. It's got to be a typo. I don't think you've been looking for used cats online for your replacement vehicle. It's fucking depressing. I was looking at some used cars actually also online, and it is depressing. I feel your pain. At this point, though, I'm going to just buy any old clunker I can. I think any old clunker is better than the bus at this point. Duck Dragon, I know it's pretty messed up, but every time I smoke weed, my cat always wants to lay on my lap. Oh, really? I don't know. Really not. If Willer cilantro, what about cilantro? What about cilantro? What about the cilantro? Now I got to know about the cilantro. Care names you haven't eaten yet. Well, I did have while the intro was playing, I did have one of these. I know I'm a health nut. These are totally healthy. I had a chocolate snack pie to go with my coffee. You can tell I'm on a real health kick. They were a raised belly cam. I can't. It's a cup holder mount, and it is what it is, and that's the way it's going to be. Big hook. The hairy arm is most likely the view on TJ in cab mode. Well, my arms aren't really that hairy. I have very light hair, so they're not too hairy. Santa Dog, I have several. Santa Dog, we know about your cars. You got a lot of cars, and you've been doing a lot of good stuff for your roomies there, helping them out, getting them cars and stuff. They will their shave arm. It's not even an issue. Santa Dog belly cam looks a lot like the spear. That's funny. DBD 5844 says, great show, TJ. Everyone enjoy the rest of your day and evening. Stay safe and strong. Wishing all peace and love and light. And you need a home cooked meal, TJ. DPD, I know you are really always a proponent of that. Well, I've got all the. I think I've got all the pots and pans that I need now. I've got a pot that's big enough. I think I showed you the pot. It's big enough. I could make chili or a stew enough to feed a freaking platoon. I don't even know how big a platoon is, but I think I could feed a platoon with it. So yeah. Big Don't Fuck with Cats. It's a great Netflix documentary. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, the next regularly scheduled show will be tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then later, then we'll talk more about doing the cab stuff, because I'm not doing cab tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I know most of you are, but help get the show out there and help us get more subscribers. That would be great if you could do that. And thank you guys so much for everything. Thanks for your support with super chats and memberships. We got more memberships lately, and thanks for just everything you do, subscribing and sharing and stuff like that. Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for being here. I guess I'll tone it down a little bit today. I'm feeling a little bit of the Christmas spirit. So I'm not going to come in guns a-blazing, cussing and swearing, and all that shit. I'm not going to do that today. No fucking swearing today. Although I just swore twice, but you know what I mean. Not going to be yelling and screaming my head off today. I'm just a little mellow. And but I hope everyone has a good day. And just be grateful for all you have. Make sure you give your loved ones an extra hug if you can hug them, or a phone call, or a message, or just let them know you love them. And but we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for sure. All right. I just wanted to pop in and say hi real quick. And I'm hungry too, John. Trucker John, come on. Let's wrap this thing up and go down to Del Taco, please. Starving. Me too. Let's go. Let's get it going. Let's get it going, guys. I want to get me a Del Combo burrito and some fries. Let's go. Let's get it going. Oh, hi guys. Oh, we're still on. We're still on. Hello, everybody. Hey, thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you. You guys are awesome. And happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everything else. I know we're still a couple weeks away, and we'll be doing all the happy Christmases and happy holidays. But happy holidays to everyone, and I hope to the best extent that you can. I know it's sometimes tough, but hey, let's be positive and let's move on. Do the best we can. All righty then. Look at me with an Australian accent. Is that what that was? Okay. Back to you, Trucker John. I'm getting my shoes on. I'm getting ready to go. I'm going to go down to Del Taco. So hurry it up. Hurry it up. Let's go. I'm getting hangry. And I'm usually not the one that does that. It's usually Tough Cookie. I'm getting hangry today. All right. Paul, the purple beard guy, is getting hangry. So I guess we better end the show. I'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon for you East Coasters. And for everyone in between, just, somewhere in between there. All right, so now we come to the portion of the show where we like to do our words of wisdom. Fan favorite. So a lot of people like to write these down. You want to get a pen and paper. Get ready to write this down. I'll give you a couple seconds to get the stuff you need. And okay, you ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, so for today's words of wisdom, just
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So I style of Easter, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.